There's a great thing you're writing here about intention running against resistance. And I call this the wall, like getting over the wall. Like you have an intention and you run up against resistance and you get stuck. We're talking about getting stuck. And you talk about there's 4 different techniques to to get over the wall, to unstuck yourself or unstick yourself. And you talk about taking deep breath, a white light. You can focus on a white light. Can you talk a little bit about that the technique you talk about?
Now, in Eastern yogic traditions, it's a combination of 3 things. One is focused awareness. It's called dharana. The second is dhyan, meditation. And the third is transcendence. So you introduce the intention. You have a focus on what you desire. And then you transcend. We let it go and settle into silence. And then that combination of intention, focused awareness, transcendence organizes the fulfillment of your intention through what is called synchronicity. In spiritual traditions, you hear these words. I ask people, entrepreneurs particularly, how come you were so successful? They say the usual things. I believed in my passion, this, that, the other. But ultimately, all of them say one of the following things. I was lucky. Or I happened to be in the right place at the right time. Or it was a state of grace. Or if they're religious, they say God was on my side. Or they say there were many synchronicities or good luck. They're all meaning the same thing. And what is good luck? It's opportunity meeting preparedness, which comes from focused awareness, subtle intention, and letting go. The letting go is a very important part.
There are so many times where I believe this was the end, as in, like the wall was there, the deck was stacked against the success of going forward. But if I was able to just set an intention, be calm with it, and I wrote down something that's on my desk that says, nothing ever begins and ends in a single day. So I know, and put it away, as in put the intention, put it away, and then it's amazing how whatever's out there, it'll happen. And it goes against logic. It goes against logic, right?
Yeah.
Because you say logic says you shouldn't be making this, right? So basically you're saying if you put the intention out there, let it sit, the world will organize itself around that intention, and you create reality around that.
Yeah, especially when you let go and you don't fight against what is happening right now.
So let's talk about meditation. When I was 40 years old, I ended this relationship. I was engaged to get married, and it just ended not so well. Usual when something like that ends. And I was on a plane, and I need to get away. And the guy next to me says, "You know where you should go? You should go to this ashram in Pondicherry, a Sri Aurobindo ashram, which you have a center there." But I didn't know anything about it. I ended up a week later getting on a plane, going there, and it really changed my life. And I remember I learned something really important, which was my inner voice, that I had been given something internally, and through meditation, I could listen to that voice, and it would guide me and give me peace. And this is what I found when I was at the ashram. And so when you think of the power of meditation, and this is what it did for me, and it's allowed me to live a very calm life, even with a lot of uncertainty. But let's talk through that from your perspective on what's the purpose of it. Everyone knows about it. People have been talking about mindfulness and meditation, transcendental TM and all this. But can you dive into that? Why is it important? What can it do for you? How can it help you as a person?
So human consciousness takes 4 expressions: being, feeling, thinking, and doing. Everything starts with being. So being is the highest intelligence. Meditation takes you to the level of being, which means it bypasses all thought, ultimately, all systems of thought, whether it's scientific, philosophical, religious, takes you to the place which religions call the peace that passes understanding. That's the state of being. The highest intelligence, where there is infinite creativity, spontaneous knowing, intuition, insight, and vision. The second level of human expression is feeling. And the highest feelings that you can experience are, of course, empathy, compassion, love, joy, equanimity, and even the loss of fear of death. Feeling. The third highest intelligence is thinking, but not dogmatic thinking, reflective thinking. What are my goals? What do I want? What's my purpose? Great gratitude, etc. And the final expression is called doing. But right now, what you see in the world, everybody is doing. Okay, they're not human beings; they're human doings. And if they are human doings, they're also human thinkings. But the thinking is not reflective; it's opinion, it's dogma, it's ideology. It's I'm right, you're wrong. So So what we see human behavior is doing and dogmatic thinking. It should be the other way around, So, and then there's no feeling whatsoever, and there's no being at all. The only feeling people have is anxiety. Okay, so now reverse that. Start with being, then feel, and evoke those feelings of love, compassion, joy, equanimity by even thinking of an idea that you love, or a person that you love, or a situation that you love, or an experience that you love. Feel it in your body. Okay. Then reflect, what do I want? What's my purpose? Then go ahead and make your plans. That's the way to do it.
So that is you're saying the structure of meditation, or that's what when you meditate?
That's the structure ultimately of what is called yoga. Meditation is an aspect of yoga. So meditation is called Raj Yoga. Love is called Bhakti Yoga. Reflection is called Yoga of the intellect. And then doing is called karma yoga, creating the right karma.
If I want to go into being yourself. And when you think about a lot of us, especially when you're younger, I found when I started the company, I went public, I was 32 years old, and people were telling me all sorts of things the way a CEO needs to be when you run a public company, blah, blah, blah. And I started to have this stress with, who I am. And then I felt like I had to put a facade on. Okay, I had to be this person I wasn't. And it also created a lot of stress. So when we think about, being yourself and how we remove the mask, why is that important? How do I do that?
These are the qualities of great leaders: authenticity, integrity, higher calling, and responsibility. And you can't have authenticity if you're wearing a mask. If you're pretending to be somebody that you're not, then obviously that's not authentic. Integrity means living up to your words. And then having a higher cause, of course, is obvious. It's not only about yourself. And taking responsibility for what goes right and what goes wrong. Those are the four things. And if you are putting on a mask, you're putting on a mask because it creates anxiety. You're hiding yourself. So I think it's a process. That's why it's important to take time to reflect, go on retreats. I also nowadays, because corporations are moving in the direction of in the direction of social, economic justice and taking responsibility for the well-being, some of them. As you know, we have a nonprofit called Just Capital. Yep. But what is coming very clearly through is something is happening in what social scientists call emergence. Emergence means a new paradigm is being born. And this happens when there's a leader who inspires a shared vision. The leader can connect emotionally and spiritually with their team, and everybody complements each other's strengths, and there is openness and transparency and feedback. Emergence happens spontaneously. So shared vision, emotional and spiritual bonding, and complementing everybody's strengths. That's the key for a successful organization.
So when I think about that as a company, so that's a great way to look at a company. That's what makes a healthy company. That's what makes a company.
It also creates a healthy ecosystem of a company of entrepreneurs. They have a shared vision, and they're complementing each other's strengths. Of course, they're emotionally connected because they all have the same passion, hunger, and drive.
Fantastic. So before we leave, you write about vibrations, and there's these 52 different vibrations that you can do in the book, or sounds. And I learned this when through meditation, of how these vibrations can change the state of your mind or of your brain. This is what I found, And so I was wondering if you maybe talk about that for a second, but I love to do like an Om with you virtually, and
Sure.
people could listen to that and understand, what does that bring to somebody? Why do that? Why are those vibrations important? Once again, I go to the student of the mind. Like, I think I'm trying to give tools to entrepreneurs so they can make it through this thing that's hard. And why is this important?
So here's the key. There are what we call our 5 physical senses: sound, touch, sight, taste, smell. These give us the experience of the physical world. Right now, we are having the experience of the physical world through these 5 senses. But you can experience these 5 elements of creation: sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell in the mind. So if I ask you to think of your mother right now, a picture shows up, right? Or a feeling shows up. If I tell you to think of a beautiful sunset on the ocean, suddenly a picture shows up. That's a vibration. That's a vibration. In the Eastern wisdom traditions, all mental events are vibrations, but not just thoughts. They are images, they are sensations, they are feelings, and they are thoughts. And the 52 mantras that we have, the vibrations, they are vibrations of the subtle body in the mind. So Om is one universal vibration. But as you'll see in the book, I've put in actually all these vibrations, which are very traditional, which have very specific effects on what we call the subtle body. The subtle body is the body of the mind, the intellect, and the ego.
So can we do an Om together?
Sure. So let's actually do it the following way.
Okay,
Please close your eyes right now.
Okay.
And mentally repeat your full name to yourself. So I'm saying I am Deepak Chopra, and you can say I am mentally. And as you repeat your name, bring in any sensation, image, feeling, or thought that is associated with that name. All the job you have, you're a husband, you're a father, you have business challenges, pandemic is going on. That's all associated with Robert LoCaccio's life right now. So invite it all. As you repeat your name, invite every stress you have into your life right now, randomly, whatever comes to your mind. Okay, now just repeat I am without the name or any form attached to it. Instead of saying I'm Robert LoCascio, just say I am. No form, no name, no memory, nothing. Just I am. Detach I am from I am Robert LoCascio. Just repeat that. And now instead of I am, replace it with the mantra aham, 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 mentally. Aham is just the vibration of I am. Aham, aham, mentally. And now take a really deep breath, and as you exhale, sound the Om. So take a deep breath. Feeling the vibration in the body. And then when it ends, listen to the silence. Listen to the absence of the vibration. This is home.
Thank you. Really.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Robert.
I want to thank you, Deepak, for everything, and your body of work that you put in the world is just extraordinary.
Thank
and
you.
People should really read Total Meditation. If you're an entrepreneur or anyone else, it really gives you a very good tool set. I hate to use that word, but a really good framework for working on yourself and your brain, your thoughts, and your awareness in the world. And thank you for all that you bring to the world every day.
Thank you, Robert. And
Thank you.
we'll meet soon.
Yes, we will.